Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Chioma Moma and I'm glad to have you here. So, amidst all the Christmas celebrations and all of that, um, I just thought to do this video. The video I've been meaning to do for a while, to be honest, because there's one question I get asked a lot, and that is, oh, which school should I put my child in? People are relocating, moving to Abuja, have a family friend moving, and they're like, what should I do? And even though the school year starts in September, a few people are still going to make that transition now, change the school and start or just be starting school for the first time in January. And they're like, where should I take my child? And there are a lot of things to consider. I go to schools, I love visiting schools, one of my favorite things to do. And yeah, just a few things I think are really important when you're considering where your child will go to school. And this is for primary school, even though you can apply to other stages as well. So primary school, so first of all, the philosophy of the school. What's the school's philosophy? What are they trying to achieve? Who do they cater for? Are they for the elite in the society? And this, this is what they're all about. What is their religious slant? For instance, is it a Catholic school? Do they, are they going to help children with catechism? Is it a school that does Islamia? Is it a Christian school? Some schools have that, Christian curriculum infused into their philosophy, or Christian ideals infused into their philosophy, okay, where they pray every morning and things like that. So, what is the school's philosophy? Is this something that aligns with yours, their values, the values that they have as a school? Does it align with yours and what you want your child to have? So, check that out. That's really, really important. So, you're on the same page with the visionary of the school. Talk to the owner of the school, find out their philosophy, talk to the head of the school, find out their philosophy, what driving force, why they exist as a school. It's really, really important. The next thing that you need to find out, which is also key, is curriculum. What kind of curriculum does the school want to operate, or do they operate in the first place? British curriculum, American curriculum, mixed curriculum, Nigerian curriculum. It's very important because you need to know what would work for your child. For instance, I went to St. Saviour's school in Lagos, Ikoyi, Lagos, and it was a fully British curriculum. So at some point, I think my parents just told themselves, wait up, hold up here. Well, our children are not going to go to secondary school in the UK or go to university in the UK. So why are we putting our children in British schools? And it was a school that was really created at that time for expats living in Nigeria. So at the point they're like, no, let's change our children. Of course, it was quite expensive as well. So they just said, look, after the first 2-3 of us had gotten to a particular stage, the rest of us they said, oh yeah, you know what, let's put you in a school that has a more Nigerianish and mixed curriculum. And that was Corona, and it was a good decision for them at that time. So that's important. The curriculum of the school. Ask yourself, where's my child going to? If you want to put your child in American curriculum and your child is not going to go to America later, is there any point? You need to think through those things and decide why you want your child to go to a school based on that curriculum. And that thing that is really, really important when you're trying to choose your child's school is your child's learning needs. How does your child learn? The different kinds of learning needs for children. Some children are visual, some children are spatial, some children have special needs. So make sure the school has teachers that are equipped to teach your child. Because at the end of the day, your child is going there to not just go and sit down and while away time. So the school needs to be able to cater to your child's unique learning needs. So find out how your child learns, and find out what the school does, if they're equipped or qualified to teach your child and impart knowledge on your child. So next of all, this is something that is really important to me: proximity. If you live in Nigeria or anywhere in the world, in fact, if you live in the UK or the US, I remember when I was in the US for a little short spell, and even in the UK, the same thing. They assign schools to you based on where you live. So if you live in this particular district, your child is not going to go to a public school that's like really far. They will say no. It's your address that they will use to give you, to admit you into a particular school. You live around here and all that. So that is a reason why it just makes more sense. It just is tidier and all that. So many reasons. So for me here, the school should either be close to your home or close to your office. If there's an emergency, heavens forbid, and you need to run to your child's school. It's easier when it's close by. You don't need to be going around the whole town to take your child to school, or doing cross country or cross state to take your child to school. So try and look for a good school near where you live or near your office. If there's nothing around you, you might have to, do some homework. But there's so many reasons. For instance, now, my child, I have a child that goes to school quite close to me, and because he lives, a lot of people that live in my estate go to the same school. It was easy for me to, find a parent who, when I had, or when I have those issues and I can't go and pick up for any reason, I can always tell my neighbor who I'm comfortable to say, oh, please, can you help me pick up my son? Because there are quite a few, it was easy to find that neighbor who I could, rely on. And the same thing when you're in the office and you have to go and see that school recital and that school play during office hours, it's easy to just tell your boss, oh, I'm going to just dash to school, I'll be back within an hour. And it can actually happen because the school is so close. But if it's a school that is far, it might take you even up to an hour to get to the school. Before you go and watch this recital come back, you've spent 3-4 hours away from the office, which a lot of bosses will find highly unacceptable. It's not really good. So look for something that works for you. Life is already a bit stressful. Don't make it any more stressful by taking your child too far. Proximity is very important. Another thing that's really, really important is the cost. Good education costs quite a bit of money, but at the same time, you don't want to go broke because you're sending your children to school. I remember when I spoke to a parent once about how expensive some particular school was. She was like, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Now, I found her statement quite ignorant because, yes, education, it can be expensive, but it depends on what you're looking for. It depends on what you want. It depends on what, there's so many factors. So yes, nobody is saying that you should come put your child in the school, the cheapest school there is, but do what was not going to break the bank, especially when you're talking about primary school. This is not secondary school. This is not university. And you're already borrowing to pay primary school. You need to do some soul searching and some thinking and see, look, what do I have to adjust? What do I have to change in my lifestyle so I can pay my children's school fees? Or you change the school, look for a school that you can afford. I told you how my parents had to withdraw us from a school. The first two finished from that school. By the time it got to me, I think I was in primary 3, they just told themselves some home truths. They were both civil servants. They're like, man, we have 6 children. This fees is not beans. And they looked for another good school that was, in the same neighborhood, and they pulled us out of where we were so they could, so we could attend the other school. So at times, you just, and you might like, there's some schools I really, really did like for myself, but from day one, I just said, let me just leave it. I remember when I had my first son, I said, if I start my first one with this school, I'm going to have to follow through for the others, or not. So let me just not even do the one that will break my neck. So cost is very important. Now, another thing that is important are the policies the school operates. What policy do they? Do they have an anti-bullying policy? Do they have safety policies? What are the things that they have in place to look after your child when stuff happens? Their health policy. There's so many things that you need to look at, so just try and ask. And then the last one I'm going to share here, now there's so many other things, but this is the last one I'm going to share here, the environment. It is so important. I don't know how you can put your child in a school without going to actually visit the school. You must go there, see the school, look around. What I always tell people to do, if it's a school activity, a school event, that's a great time to visit. You see other parents, you see them you see other children, see how they feel. So like they're into house sports day or an open house, like some schools are doing some Christmas activities this period. Go and visit. They're not going to drive you away. Go and see what they're about. Talk to other parents. You can ask them. That's what I did. I'll just talk to them and say, oh, how do you feel about this school? Da, 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 da. Hear from their horse's mouth and know what is going on in the school for real. And now, I need to tell you this. No school is perfect. Some schools will, tick up all the boxes, but make sure they're ticking the right boxes and the most important boxes. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be moving your child from one place to the other. But if you have an issue, you're not happy, things are really, really challenging, you need to change your child, just do your due diligence and make the changes. I've had to have, do some stuff sometimes where I've had to change my children's school. Sometimes I've had to go back and forth. It's not easy. So just, pray it through, ask God for help. That's really the ultimate. I always say it. Pray and ask God, these are the schools I have in mind. I've done this, I've gone down the checks, I've asked the questions, I've seen it, it's close to my house, it's close to my office, the cost is not going to break my back. I love their philosophy, I love the school culture, the curriculum fits me and suits my child's learning needs are being catered for. Lord, what should I do? Should I go ahead with this school? Is it going to work? Take your child there, see how they fit in the environment as well. Pray and let God guide you. Take care and have a great day. Bye.